It happened on a Tuesday, in the shower. Kai was thinking about what to have for breakfast. Should he make eggs? Or just grab something on the way to work? And the thought came, not in Korean, in English. He stood there, water running, completely still. He did not move for almost a minute, because this moment, this quiet, ordinary moment, was something he had been chasing for 3 years. And now that it was here, it felt nothing like he expected. He expected to feel happy. He expected to feel proud. He expected to think, I did it. I finally did it. But instead he felt something stranger, something quieter, something that took him a long time to find a word for. No one ever told him that the day you start thinking in English, it feels like losing something and gaining something else entirely. This is Kai's story. This is a day in the life of an English learner who thinks in English now. Part 1. The morning. Kai's apartment is small. 1 room, 1 window, a desk covered in sketchbooks and design files. He has lived here for almost 2 years. Before this apartment, there was a different one. His first apartment in London. That one was smaller, colder, and much lonelier. He smiles when he thinks about it now. Kai moved to London 3 years ago to work at a design studio. His English at the time was what he calls airport English. Enough to get through customs, enough to order food, enough to survive. But surviving and living are very different things. In the beginning, every day felt like an exam he had not studied for. Meetings at work were the worst. 8 people around a table, everyone talking fast, everyone using expressions he did not know. Let's table that idea. Can we take this offline? That's a bit of a stretch. He would nod. He would smile. He understood almost nothing. After those meetings, he would go to the bathroom, close the door, and write down everything he had heard on his phone. Every phrase, every word he did not know. Then he would look them all up, one by one. This was his real classroom. Not a course, not an app, the bathroom, and a notes app. Part 2. The commute. Kai takes the overground to work, 31 minutes from his station to Shoreditch. He used to use this time to study. Flashcards, vocabulary lists, grammar exercises. He was disciplined, serious. But something shifted around the end of his 2nd year. He stopped studying on the commute, not because he gave up, because he no longer needed to. Now he just sits. He looks out the window, he thinks, and the thinking happens in English. This morning, he is thinking about a design project he is working on, a brand identity for a small coffee company in East London. He is imagining the logo, the colors, the feeling he wants people to have when they hold the cup. Warm, he thinks. Honest, a little imperfect, like something handmade. He is not aware in this moment that he is thinking in English. That is the strange thing about fluency. When it finally arrives, you stop noticing it. Like breathing. You do not think, I am breathing right now. You just breathe. Kai looks at his own reflection in the train window. He wonders, who is the person thinking these thoughts? Is it the same Kai who grew up in Busan? The same Kai who spoke only Korean until he was 22? Or is this a different version of him? a London version, an English version. He is not sure yet. Part 3. At work. The design studio is open plan. High ceilings, exposed brick, large windows that face east, so the whole space fills with morning light. Kai loves this about the studio. In Korea, the offices he worked in were closed, divided, quiet. Here, everything is open. Everyone talks. Ideas move around the room like weather. He used to find this chaos overwhelming. Now he finds it inspiring. His colleague and closest work friend is a woman named Bex, short for Rebecca. But no one calls her Rebecca. Bex is from Manchester. She speaks quickly and uses a lot of slang. When Kai first met Bex, he understood about 40% of what she said. Now he understands everything, not just the words, the tone, the humor, the sarcasm she uses when she likes something. Because in British English, sometimes sarcasm is a form of affection. "Oh, brilliant," she says when something goes slightly wrong. Absolutely brilliant. It means this is a disaster, but said warmly. Kai learned this the hard way. His first month, Bex said, "Oh, that's brilliant, Kai," about one of his early design drafts. He thanked her enthusiastically. She stared at him for a moment, then very gently said, "I was being sarcastic, love." He went home that evening and researched British sarcasm for 45 minutes. Now he uses it himself. Last week, he told Bex, "Oh, wonderful. The client changed the brief again. Fantastic news." She laughed for a long time. "You've gone full British," she said. "I'm scared." Part 4. The thought that comes without being asked. At 10:30, Kai is working on the coffee logo. He's trying 3 different typefaces, testing how they feel. And a memory arrives. Not invited. Just there. His grandmother's kitchen in Busan. The smell of doenjang jjigae, a fermented soybean paste stew, in the morning. The sound of the television in the next room. His grandmother humming while she cooked. He has not been home in 14 months. He thinks about calling her. He picks up his phone. But his grandmother does not speak English. And lately, this is the part that troubles him. He sometimes searches for a Korean word and finds the English one first. It is like reaching for something on a shelf, and your hand goes to the wrong spot. "It is not that I am forgetting Korean," he will say later when he tries to explain this to a friend. "It is more like English has moved in and rearranged some of the furniture." He puts down his phone. He goes back to the logo, but the feeling stays with him. Part 5. Lunch with Bex. Kai and Bex go to a falafel place 3 streets from the office. They go there every Tuesday. Over lunch, Kai tells Bex about the shower moment. He describes it carefully. "I was thinking about breakfast," he says. And the thought was in English, completely. And I just stopped. Bex listens. She takes a bite of her wrap. "And how did it feel?" she asks. "Strange," Kai says. "I thought I would be happy, but it felt more like..." He pauses, searching. "Like something slipped away quietly while I was not looking." Bex is quiet for a moment. "My nan moved from Jamaica to England when she was 19, she says. She told me once that she used to dream in Jamaican Creole, and then one year she started dreaming in English, and she cried. Kai looks up. Did she regret it? He asks. No, Beck says. She said it just meant she had built a life big enough for two languages, and sometimes the new one gets louder. Kai thinks about this. A life big enough for two languages. He likes that. He writes it in his sketchbook, not as a design idea, just as a sentence worth keeping. Part 6. What fluency actually feels like. Many people imagine fluency as an arrival, a destination. You study, you practice, you struggle, and then one day, you arrive. You are fluent, done. But Kai has learned that fluency is not a place. It is a practice. Even now, after 3 years, after thinking in English, after dreaming in English, he still learns something new almost every day. Last week, he learned the word sonder. It is not a common word. He found it in an essay he was reading. Sonder, the realization that each passerby has a life as vivid and complex as your own. He read it 3 times. He felt it land in his chest. He had felt this feeling many times. On the tube, in a cafe, standing on a bridge over the Thames. That sense of every person around me contains an entire world. But he had never had a word for it. Now he does. And this is the thing about language that Kai wants to tell every learner who is still at the beginning. It does not stop surprising you, even when you are fluent, even when you think in English, even when English feels like home. It still gives you new rooms to discover. Part 7. The Afternoon Call. At 3 o'clock, Kai has a video call with a client. The client is based in Singapore. Her name is Michelle. She speaks English as a second language too. Her first language is Mandarin. They have been working together for 6 months. This is one of Kai's favorite things about his work. He communicates every day with people from all over the world, in English. Not because English is their language, because English is the bridge, their shared space. On the call, Michelle uses an expression Kai does not recognize. I think this design is very clean, very on the nose. After the call, he checks. On the nose, exactly right. Precisely what was needed. Can also mean too obvious. He adds it to his notes. This still happens. This will probably always happen. A new phrase, a new expression, a new way of saying an old thing. And Kai no longer finds this frustrating. He finds it delightful. Every new expression is like finding a hidden door. You push it open, and there is more language on the other side. Part 8. The Evening. Kai finishes work at 6:30. He walks home instead of taking the train. 40 minutes through Shoreditch, Bethnal Green, and along the canal. He does this when he wants to think, and tonight, he is thinking about identity. Who are you when you change languages? He has read that research shows this is real, not just a feeling. Studies suggest that people who speak multiple languages describe their own personality differently, depending on which language they are using. In one language, you might feel more formal, more careful. In another, more spontaneous, more yourself. Kai has noticed this in his own life. In Korean, he is quieter, more deferential. He uses formal speech levels that encode respect directly into the grammar. In English, he is warmer, funnier, more likely to say exactly what he thinks. He is not sure which version is the real Kai. Maybe both are. Maybe the real Kai is the one who contains both languages, both versions, both selves. He stops on the canal bridge. The water is dark and slow beneath him. The city hums around him, and he thinks, in English without trying, I am not losing myself in translation. I am expanding. He stands there for a while, just breathing. Part 9. The phone call home. At 8 o'clock, Kai calls his mother. They speak in Korean. For the first few minutes, his Korean feels slightly stiff, like a coat he has not worn in a few weeks. But it comes back quickly. It always does. His mother asks about work, about food, about whether he is sleeping enough. He tells her about the coffee company project, about Bex, about the canal walk. She listens, she asks questions, and then she says something that stays with him. You sound happy, Kai. He pauses. I think I am, he says. Do you miss home? She asks. He thinks carefully. I miss you, he says. I miss the food. I miss hearing Korean everywhere I go. I miss knowing exactly how to be in every situation without thinking. He pauses again. But I also feel at home here. Is that okay? His mother laughs softly. Of course, she says. Home is not one place. Home is wherever you build it. After the call, Kai sits with his notebook. He writes in Korean at the top of the page. Then he writes the same sentence in English below it. He looks at them side by side. Same meaning, different music. He closes the notebook. He makes tea. Closing. A message to every learner who is still becoming. If you are at the beginning of this journey, there's something I want you to know. The goal is not to become someone else. The goal is to become more. Learning English, truly learning it, living inside it, will not erase who you are. It will add to who you are. You will have more words for your feelings. You will be able to reach more people. You will find new ways of seeing the world, because every language is a different lens. And one day, maybe in the shower, maybe on a train, maybe on a bridge, the English will just be there, not because you forced it, because you lived in it. You watched, you listened, you made mistakes, you kept going, and the language became part of you. Not instead of your first language, not instead of your culture, your memories, your identity. Alongside them, Kai still calls his mother in Korean every week. He still thinks in Koreans when he is dreaming of home. He still tastes words in Korean that have no English translation. And he thinks in English when he is designing, when he is walking through London, when he is being the version of himself that this city has helped him discover. Both are real. Both are him. And you, right now, are in the middle of your own becoming. You are building something that no one can take from you. A second world, a second self, a second way of being alive. Keep going. The day you stop noticing you are speaking English, it is closer than you think. And when it arrives, stand still for a moment. Let it land. You earned it.